Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Gregory Gage and this is going to be my 8-month hair transplant update video. So you're going to see how this is all doing up here, so check it out. Okay guys, if you are new to my channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my uploads. I upload every month with an update about my hair. I have been doing so for the last 8 months and you'll have seen my progress from beginning to end. If you want to check out any of my previous videos, feel free to check out the playlist which is in the description down below for all of the previous videos. There is a lot there. Later on in this video, I'm going to be joined by Brian from Hair Transplant Reality, who is also on a hair transplant journey. He got his hair transplant 2 days before I did and he's from the States. He'll be joining me later on in the video for a little discussion and chat about where he is right now, how his hair is getting on, and just answering some of your frequently asked questions in that. So stick around later on in the video for that. Coming up later, if you have any questions at all throughout this video, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I will get back to as many as I possibly can. Or if you have any questions you want to ask in private, you can always DM me on Instagram. My handle is going to be just here and I will get back to you. I am getting quite a few messages though, so please do bear with me. I will get back to you. It's just a matter of time. Alright, without further ado, let's just jump straight into this video. I'm gonna run down the main questions that I get asked. My age, I'm 32. I got my hair transplant done at Vinci Hair Clinic in London on Harley Street. They've very kindly given me a referral code now. So if you do decide to go to Vinci, you can use that code and it will get you a free 3-month supply of Vitruvian vitamins, which are hair boosting vitamins. All of the information about that is in the description box below. My hair transplant was an FUE hair transplant, so I got the hair taken from the back of my head and put into the front of my head to lower my hairline. I've never really experienced a huge amount of hair loss as it is. I don't really have thin hair, I have pretty thick hair. There is a lot of it. It's just my hairline I hated for the longest time. It cost, how much did it cost? It cost around £4,000. That was a special offer price that they offered after the first lockdown, so it was like book by a certain period of time and you'll get the hair transplant and a session of PRP for around £4,000. So I jumped at the chance of that offer. It was just a special offer to get people into the clinic having been closed throughout the first lockdown. And by that point I had already had a load of different consultations with different clinics. I'd already had a consultation with Vinci way before the pandemic hit, so that offer was really just the little thing that tipped me over the edge and made me decide that that was definitely the time to get it done. I decided to go for FUE rather than FUT because I didn't want to have the straight scar at the back of the head, so I would rather have had like the individual hairs taken from the back of my head and then implanted in the front, because that gives you probably more scarring, but it's a lot more subtle. And if you saw my previous video, you'll see that I shaved the back of my head and you can hardly see a thing. You would not be able to tell that I've had a hair transplant or had any hair ripped out of the back of my head. FUE, that's why I went for FUE. There are pros and cons to both, so it's worth checking that out and having a look at what those pros and cons are before you decide on what you want to do. There's also pros and cons to just getting a hair transplant done in the first place, but it's always good to speak with your consultant and see what the options are, and also shop around with different clinics to decide which clinic is the right clinic for you before you take the plunge and get your hair transplant done. I would genuinely recommend Vinci. I've had no problems with them. I'm happier than I've ever been with my hair, so I'm very, very pleased. And literally as soon as I pull my hair up, you can see me smile. I actually met my other half in town the other day, and one of the things that I'm really, really pleased about is the fact that when the wind blows on a windy day, it doesn't bug me anymore, it doesn't affect me. And the only way I can kind of show you this is with a hairdryer. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when the wind is blowing through my hair and why I don't care anymore. See, the wind can blow however much it wants. I'm not fussed. Good. Because I felt like for the longest time, a windy day was like my main nemesis. I'd spend ages getting my hair ready, hairsprayed it to filth, go outside and it would just be ruined. It would blow up and everyone would see my hairline and I would be really self-conscious of it. So now I'm not self-conscious of it anymore because it's a nice straight hairline, which is exactly what I asked for. So I'm good. I've had quite a few comments from people saying that there's no point in me getting it done because my hair is always down in front of my face, but that's only because I haven't been able to get to a hairdresser at the moment to get a nice short haircut. I'm not risking cutting my own hair really short, so I'm going to wait until the salons and barbers are open again, and I'll get it done. I'll get a professional to cut my hair, because at the moment I'm just doing it myself, and I'm not risking giving myself a really short choppy cut that's going to look awful. When that's done, I will be messing up my hair on the top, spiking it all up, and just living my hair fantasy, you know. That's the aim. I'm not currently taking any medication, but there are medications like finasteride, minoxidil, but I'm not currently taking anything because I haven't really noticed any thinning hair. I'm not losing hair in the shower or anything like that. Literally the only reason why I wanted to get my hair transplant done was to lower my hairline and straighten it. So that's what I've done. We'll take a really quick recap of where we've come from to where we are today, so you can see the whole 8-month journey from beginning to end, and I will be back with you in a second. So last month I was talking about the texture and the quality of the hair, and saying how it's slightly different to what my natural hair looks. It's still my natural hair, but you know, hair from the top of my head rather than the back of my head. Slightly different texture. But what I've been using is the stuff that I got sent from Ideal of Med, and that had shampoos, conditioners and scalp serums and things in it. And I have been using the shampoo and the conditioner every time I have a shower, and I have noticed a good difference in the quality of the hair. It feels like it's like shinier, it feels softer. So at the moment I've been using this for a month now, and I am impressed with how it's going. As you can see here, the hair quality is getting a lot closer to my real hair that's on the top of my head. So yeah, I'm impressed with Ideal of Med so far. If you want to get a discount code for Ideal of Med, there's a 15% discount code, and that again is in the description below, so if you want to check that out, feel free to. And now I think we should join Brian from Hair Transplant Reality, and we'll have a little discussion about where we are and where we've been, and you'll see some really cool before and afters of Brian's hair, which is an incredible transformation. Seriously, it's like, it'll blow you away how good his transformation is, because he's gone from like nothing to like a full head of hair. Whoa, here we go. Here's Brian.
Hey, what's going on, man? I really appreciate taking the time to do this. And honestly, one of the things I'm really excited about is this is perhaps the first time two YouTubers have ever recorded together for a hair transplant update, let alone at the exact same time. Like, we're both at 8 months within a couple days. That's amazing.
It's mad. You had just like 2 days before me.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, and so your results are insane. They're like crazy. Like, really good.
They're only crazy in the way that I had such a huge amount of hair loss. But dude, your hair,
mine wasn't ever that extreme. Mine was just like a little bit up there.
Yeah, but you had like, what was like a whole inch at least added to your hairline.
Yeah, it was like up there somewhere.
Dude, it was at least an inch. Honestly though, I'm jealous of your hair. Like, I'm never gonna have that hair. Like, I can do 3 hair transplants and be like donor depleted and still not get to where you're at. We probably should leave with some questions that are really commonly asked before we dive into a long conversation of our fun experiences and what we expected and what's, you know, been different than our expectations. But like, let's go back and forth on most common questions. I'd say let's start with the most common question I get is like, how has a hair transplant changed my life? I can start it off honestly, like for me, business-wise, being on camera a lot, like with other YouTubers and stuff for my business, it's drastic because like right now I'm in like a giant, you know, O-ring and I got overhead light on me. And like before I'd have been glowing in this area. And so I looked like I was 38, 40 years old. And like, everyone thought I was old, and I was 26, and I was like, so I guess that was the biggest change for me. A little bit of confidence boost, I guess, but definitely really helpful in the professional world. Like in the beginning, it was helpful when I first started balding because it was like, yo, you're a young guy owning a company. Like older people that own companies would like respect me thinking I was older. But then as I started to actually get to like that, I'm nearing 30. It's like I need to like.
How old are you now?
I'm 28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to pull that age back. I like drastically went from being 21 looking 25 to like 22 looking 28 to like 25 looking 30. And then it was like from there, it's like we need to pull this back a little bit. But yeah, how about for you? How did it change for you?
For me, it's mostly just a confidence thing. More than anything else, it's a confidence thing. So I've always worn my hair down like this just to hide the fact that I've hated my hairline. But I was talking about this earlier, like when it's a windy day outside and it's blowing, the wind's blowing and your hair gets blown up on your face, people could see it. Or when I'd have my hair, I used to have that like whole emo fringe thing going down. You'd have the really long fringe. But then because there was like no hair in this section here, like if the wind blew, it would part it and it would just make it look like it would just go up so high. It was awful. But yeah, I'm waiting for the hairdressers to open up again so I can get like a nice short haircut so I can like mess it up on top and like show off the whole new hairline thing.
I mean, you're in London, everything's locked down because of COVID. I'm in Chicago, things are starting to open up again.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because you got your hair transplant done in London, right?
Yes, yeah, I got it done on Harley Street at Vinci Hair Clinic. They've got international locations and stuff, so there's loads of places to go. But in London, there's huge amounts of competition for hair transplant clinics and stuff. So I did have a good shop around to see what I was vibing with. You have to like have a good feeling about who you're going to get your hair transplant done with. And for me, it just ended up being Vinci.
Honestly, that's something that's so undervalued. Like once you get to like the top percentile of like transplant surgeons, people don't realize like it really comes down to who you vibe with versus like which one's 0.1% better. Like you're never going to know because just different hair types and different healing from each person to person is going to change how your results are. So you got to really
even with like even if you've got like a top hair surgeon, it will say on your contract, you're not paying for a successful hair transplant. You're paying for the expertise and the skills of the surgeon that's doing it in the hopes that the transplant will take, because there's always the possibility that a hair transplant will fail. And
I mean, it partially is based on how you heal and how you treat your hair transplant after the fact.
Yeah.
Right, you're scraping your head in the ground, you're gonna have a really hard time having it.
Like day one, you're just scratching out all of those brand new grafts.
It itches. Oh man, that scares me. You know, like.
What do you remember from the first week?
Oh man, first week. That's a good question. That's actually well, I mean, I guess people always ask like, how was the first week or two? So what do I remember from it? I remember the first few days it being a little sensitive, I would say. I wouldn't say painful, a little sensitive, and then you pop a pill and then just forget it. You know what I mean? And then after that, I remember it being like my face had like you know, like one cheek was like swollen up. Like it was just like the swelling came down and the bruising came and I looked like a fucking mess. And that was like day 2 to 4. And then day 5 it started looking a little better. The swelling went away, the bruising was still a little bit there. And then by like day 6, I had itching. I think it was like day 5. I just had this like intense, like I wanted to itch my head.
I did have
back. Because they going for the skin, but like I didn't.
I'm pretty similar with you to like what I remember and everything. The one of the things that I didn't expect was like how bad the swelling could be. I don't know, maybe I just didn't research the swelling part of it as much as I should have, but obviously like I just looked like Megamind. My head was huge.
Yes, that's what I said. Paint me blue, let's do it.
Literally, the top of my head was massive, and then it just gradually moved down here, and then it moved down here, and then it went behind my eyes. So like my nose just ended up looking like flat like that. It was like all this. Like, I didn't have a bridge of my nose anymore. Yeah, sleeping was difficult for I would say the first 2 weeks probably. Oh my god, that's bad.
The same nose.
It just looks like a different person though.
And by week 2, people were like, I can't tell you had anything done to the back.
Yeah.
And definitely by month 1, they were like, dude, your hair is all grown in.
Around the 2 to 3 months when you're just every day you're looking in the mirror like, is it back yet? Is it back yet? Is it back yet? It's not back yet. Is it coming in?
I've had a bunch of people message me being like, I'm at 4 months and I don't see the results you saw. I'm really nervous. And I'm like, just keep, stay calm to like month 6. If you don't see results by month 6, you should talk to your doctor. You know what I mean? It's always what I recommend. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but like, it just seems like the best thing to recommend. Honestly, I had a guy today I filmed with, and I was talking to him. He's a fan of mine. And he was like, yeah, man, like, honestly, your videos helped me a lot. And the fact you didn't pressure saying, well, at 4 months you should like this, the fact you were like, hey, everyone grows at different stages. And I like had pointed out that like one side of my head wasn't growing the same rate as the other side. And like 2 months later, it looked much fuller, but like, it's just how your hair follicles come in. It can come in random as hell. Like I still have on one side way more like bristles than the other right now. And it still looks thinner, but it's coming in more. Yeah. So it's so
they
strange.
Say it can take like even up to 2 years for it all to like to
result,
come through and everything. So it's a long process, and people it are affected differently. But I've had the same sort of thing as you, where like one side it came in a little bit faster than the other. I was just like, oh my god, where is this? Why isn't this coming in?
Did they mess it up?
You panic about so many of these little things that don't really matter, because at the end of the day, 99.99% of the time, it is going to be absolutely fine and it is going to come straight through.
So the way the scientific studies say it is the end of 8 months, you're at 80%. So technically, even though we're at 8 months, we're at about 70% of the hair popping through the scalp. And then
this is dead
they say approximately you're 10% behind that as far as final results. So we still have 40% of our results to go, because the main thing is going to be the thickening and the maturity of those hairs, going from like the word wiry to like terminal hairs that are much thicker. They have some silkiness to them. They can be more workable. They have a little bit of sheen to them that looks nice, versus, when they're baby hairs, they don't really have anything except for fighting the grain next to them. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining and coming along and chatting and everything. Catch you later.
Cheers.
See ya. Bye. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that little talk with Brian and I discussing our hair transplant procedures, our main questions and things. If you want to check out more of Brian's journey, feel free to subscribe to his channel as well. I'm going to put that down in the description below, and also I will link it at the end of this video. So check out Brian's channel for more of his updates. The full video of us just talking about our hair transplants, you can catch that in a separate video that I will upload later on this week, probably Wednesday. So if you wanted to see the full sort of hair transplant discussion. And I'm pretty much gonna leave that where we are today. If you guys do decide to go with Vinci Hair Clinic for your hair transplant, they've very kindly given me a referral code now. So you can find that in the description box below. And if you use that when you book your first initial consultation with them, you'll get yourself a free 3-month supply of Vitruvian hair vitamins, which are filled with ingredients that help to boost your hair from the inside out. There's some information on the screen right here that you can see that tells you all of the stuff about Vitruvian vitamins. But obviously it's a great thing to have if you're wanting to give your hair a good boost after you've had a hair transplant. So check it out in the description box below. And please do let me know how you're getting on. If you decide to go to Vinci Hair Clinic, please do shoot me a message. That's everything pretty much covered. I'm looking forward to seeing how my hair transforms from my 8-month to my 9-month, because that's we've got a good amount of growth still to go. We've got about 30% more growth. So fingers crossed it gets even better than it is today. Let me know your thoughts about how it's all going in the comments down below. If you're on this journey too, please do let me know. I would love to hear from you. And if you're thinking about getting it done, or if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. I am happy to answer pretty much anything. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great week. Bye guys.